The night smelled like rust and gasoline. I was parked in the back corner of a supermarket lot, pretending to sleep in the back seat while the world moved without me. The phone lit up, an unfamiliar number. I almost ignored it. Almost. When I answered, it wasn't a creditor. It wasn't a friend. It was my uncle's voice. Cold, calculated. "I didn't know you were living in your car," he said. No greeting, no sympathy. Just fact, like a scalpel pressed against skin. My chest tightened. He wasn't supposed to know. No one was. I had kept my dissent private, swallowing humiliation with cheap coffee in silence. Then he said something stranger, something heavier. "Do you know who's keeping their law firm afloat right now? Your ex-wife and her boyfriend. Do you know whose money they're using?" He let the silence answer for me. "My brother's trust fund, the one meant for you." The line clicked dead. I stared into the dark windshield, my reflection fractured in the cracked glass. The hum of the parking lot lights drowned out everything else. That was the moment I knew. My suffering wasn't accidental. It was engineered, and they were using my own inheritance to fuel it. I thought betrayal ended the day the court ruled against me. The judge had nodded toward her lawyer like they were old friends. Maybe they were. By the time the ink dried, my house, my savings, even my investments were gone. The narrative was simple. I was reckless, unstable, unfit. She, sweet, wounded, deserved protection. I walked out of the courthouse stripped of everything but a duffel bag and a few bills. But the truth was uglier. My uncle's words replayed in fragments, cutting me open in pieces. They weren't just together, my wife and her lawyer. They were partners, bound not just by lust, but by profit. Every late-night legal consultation had been a rehearsal for the performance that ended me. And the money that kept them thriving, the capital that kept their offices lit while I slept under fluorescent parking lot lamps, was mine. My trust fund. A lifetime of my father's work siphoned like blood through an open vein. The pieces fell into place with sickening clarity. The missed signatures. The power of attorney I signed years ago, when marriage still felt safe. The way her lawyer boyfriend had smiled in court, not triumphant, but smug, like the outcome was preordained. My divorce wasn't a collapse, it was an orchestrated theft. And I, too trusting, too blind, was their perfect victim. I didn't move quickly. I couldn't afford to. Instead, I learned to wait. I played the part of the broken man. 3 jobs. Fast food grease under my nails, gas station shifts, warehouse overtime. The picture they painted of me, desperate, unstable, fit too well. They stopped looking over their shoulders. That's when I started digging. Phone records, court transcripts, old trust documents I still had copies of, yellowed and brittle. My father's handwriting, his signature, the foundation of what was supposed to be my safety. I traced financial transfers like threads in a spider's web. Small at first, then larger. Payments disguised as operating costs, all leading to one place, their firm. I said nothing to anyone. At work, I smiled faintly, handed out receipts, stacked pallets. At night, I sat in my car with papers spread across the dashboard like a crime board, my breath fogging against cold glass. I found photos too. My uncle sent them. My wife's hand on her lawyer's arm, her laughter sharp in dimly lit bars. She looked younger, freer, like betrayal had been her liberation. Each piece of evidence felt like a blade sliding into place, forming the shape of a weapon. I kept my silence, not because I was weak, because silence is sharper than anger. Patience is its own kind of violence. The proof arrived in a single envelope, bank statements, dates, transfers, my trust bleeding into their business month after month. Their success wasn't earned, it was stolen. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I asked her to meet. Neutral ground, a cafe near the courthouse where it had all unraveled. She arrived polished, confident, The kind of woman who believed the past was buried beneath manicured nails and a lawyer's protection. "Why now?" she asked. "Why meet?" I slid the envelope across the table. No words. Her smile faltered. She opened it, her hands stiff, her lips parting as she read. Her eyes flicked up at me, searching for mercy. I gave her none. She whispered, "You weren't supposed to see this." I leaned back, calm, detached. "I know," I said. Her world cracked in that moment. The cafe noise carried on around us, clinking cups, murmured conversations, but she sat frozen, staring at the evidence of her theft. And I felt nothing but clarity. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. Instead, I reached into my jacket and placed a second envelope beside the first. This one wasn't for her, it was for me. Copies of everything, neatly prepared, addressed to the Bar Association, to the IRS, to the state attorney's office. Her lawyer boyfriend's career, the foundation of their empire, balanced on the edge of exposure. I watched her face pale. The realization was slow, suffocating. "You wouldn't," she whispered. I smiled faintly. I already did. Her breath hitched. She reached for words but found none. I stood, leaving both envelopes on the table. She could keep the evidence, but it no longer mattered. The truth was already in motion, sent days ago, scheduled to land in hands that would tear their facade apart. I didn't look back. The night air outside felt cleaner, lighter. For years, I thought revenge was fire, explosive, consuming. But in truth, it's ice, cold, surgical. It carves without mercy, leaving silence where noise once lived. They had taken everything: home, money, dignity. But I had taken something greater: their illusion, their security, the story they told themselves about winning. I didn't need to rebuild, not yet. I just needed them to drown in the truth. As I walked away from the cafe, her image burned in my mind. Not the woman I married, but the one stripped of control, staring into the abyss she dug for me. For the first time in years, I wasn't the one trapped. I was free. And freedom, I realized, is the cruelest revenge of all.